Today on the Eating on a Dime show, we're making my favorite crock-pot stuffed pepper soup. Okay, so today on the Eating on a Dime show, we are going to make crock-pot stuffed pepper soup. It's one of my favorite soup recipes. The flavor is amazing because you're basically making stuffed peppers, but in a soup form. So you get all the flavors of soup without any of the work. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that's what I love. So I love getting flavors of recipes with doing as little as work as possible. So if you are watching today, let me know what's for dinner tonight. And if you love stuffed peppers, and we're gonna make this today. If you want the recipe, friends, it is on this video in the description, but if you can't find it for some reason, you can always go to eatingonadime.com and search stuffed pepper soup. We have a crock pot version and an Instant Pot version, and we even have just regular stuffed peppers that you'll love that might pop up that you'll see. And let's get started, friends. Okay, so today I'm using my Instant Pot Aurora. It's basically just a 5-in-1 crock pot. So it's just a fancier version of the slow cooker. And what it is, it still slow cooks, but the great thing about it is it's a non-stick insert and it browns. So it has a saute feature, which means you can actually saute, brown your ground beef and drain it and only have one pan to clean. So today, that's what I did before we hopped on this video. Is I already browned the beef, and if there was any excess fat, I drained it. Okay, so that's done. So what I'm doing is I'm basically doubling the recipe because my family is quite large. So most of the recipes that you'll see, I will double, especially on a soup that I know that's going to taste great left over. Because this is a soup that I could eat every day for lunch for the next week if I wanted to, because it's kind of like chili. The flavors intensify as it sits in your fridge. So leftovers are perfect with this recipe. Okay, so step one, you brown your ground beef. If you don't want to use ground beef, you can use ground turkey. That's great in this recipe too. Fun tip, you can actually do 50% ground turkey, 50% ground beef. Your turkey takes on the flavor of the beef, but then it saves you a little bit of money. And it saves you a little bit of health because usually ground turkey is a little bit less in fat. Okay, so my meat is all browned in there, whoop, as you can see. Then I'm going to throw in some red onion. You can do red onion, white onion, or yellow onion. I already diced it before the video because I didn't want to cry on the video. Okay, so I'm going to throw that in there. Now, I had already switched it from saute to the slow cooker mode, so that's done. Now, we're going to chop up some bell peppers. I'm going to use a red bell pepper and an orange bell pepper today because that's what I had on hand. But any color bell pepper will work. Green, yellow, red, orange. Let me know below what's your favorites. I do love the red and the oranges because they just look so pretty with all the flavors combined. We're dicing up all the peppers because remember, this is a soup. So we're not actually stuffing peppers. We're cheating a little bit, and that's totally okay. Okay, we're cheating because we're making stuffed pepper soup. So it's all the stuff you see in stuffed peppers, but in a soup form. And it's so simple. The crock pot does all the work. And there's nothing better than this soup, really, guys. I can eat this soup in the summer because it's not super heavy. It's really light. Throw this in there. Okay, I'm going to keep going. The hardest part is chopping up your peppers, which honestly is not really that hard. Now we're going to chop up our orange bell pepper. Again, any bell pepper will work. I don't know why. The key one of the things I get compliments on a lot when I do my videos is people are like, wow, you're really good at chopping. The key to chopping up vegetables so quickly and finely is getting a good knife. I highly recommend a knife. I can give you the link to the knife I'm using right now. And I have another knife that I love as well. But the trick is to sharpen it regularly. So you want to invest in a good quality knife, and then you just sharpen it regularly. So that way the chopping is never a problem. I mean, as you can see, this thing is cutting through all my vegetables. This is one of my new knives that I've just started trying out, that I actually got for my birthday, and I really, really like it so far. But no matter what knife you're using, you just gotta sharpen it. Sharpeners are like $10, $12 on Amazon, so they're not expensive at all. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this in here. Also, I'm in love with my magnetic measuring spoons. The thing that's cool about them is they are completely magnetic. So they magnet together, but the thing I really love about them is it's two-sided. So that's kind of cool too, because you have the longer sides so they'll fit in your seasonings and the shorter sides if needed, which are great when I do my freezer cooking sessions. Okay, so now we're gonna throw in some oregano. Just gonna sprinkle it in. Again, as you can see, this recipe is super simple, guys. It's not, I'm gonna do garlic salt. It's not complicated. All the ingredients are really simple, but when they combine together, the flavors are just so good. Now, if you have really picky kids, you could do like a mini food chopper, and that will finely chop up your peppers, and they won't even know they're in there because we're throwing in crushed tomatoes and tomatoes in there. So they're gonna blend in, especially if you don't do a green bell pepper. If you're using the red and the oranges, they're gonna kind of blend in and the kids aren't even gonna notice them. But they are gonna notice the amazing flavor. When my kids were really little, they're not so little anymore. When they were really little, they used to say, oh, what are these? And I would say seasonings, and then they would put their rice in. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. But they would put their rice in and they would dig in, and this was their favorite soup, which is crazy because my kids would not touch a bell pepper if I paid them. But inside this soup recipe, it's so good. So for those of you who are like, she has kids who eat everything. No, I do not. I have so many picky kids. I have a couple kids that'll eat everything. And then I have some picky kids. So I get you. And I'm here to help you out. Okay, so what I threw in is some diced tomatoes. And then the recipe called for tomato sauce, but I didn't have any. So I just did crushed tomatoes. And then last but not least, we need some water or beef broth. I was out of beef broth, so I just substituted some water, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to give this a quick stir. And I'm done, guys. I'm going to cover this and cook on low or on high. You can do low for 8 hours or high for 3 to 4 hours, okay? So I cooked it on high since it's kind of later in the day. And then this is how you finish your recipe, okay? So I have cooked rice already in my fridge. A little tip, friends. When we have rice for one recipe, like for one dinner, I make extras on purpose and it goes into the fridge or it goes into the freezer. We do have some links. If you go to eatingonadime.com, you can search how to freeze rice. We'll tell you how to do it. We have easy Instant Pot white rice, Instant Pot brown rice. We have Crockpot white rice. So lots of ways that you can make rice in bulk and then freeze it. But so I have my leftover rice that I will just microwave to heat it up, okay? And then what the kids and the family will do is you will scoop out your soup, you'll put it in your bowl, and then you take a big scoop of rice right in the middle, and you're ready to eat. And that's how you can stir it in, and it's stuffed pepper soup. So as you can see, you have the pepper, you have the beef, you have sometimes there's ketchup or tomato sauce, and you have the rice, which is everything you need in stuffed peppers. But it's in a fun, comforting soup recipe. See how easy that was? If you want the recipe, guys, I have the link below in the description, or go to eatingonadime.com and search stuffed pepper soup, where you can get the recipe, you can print it out, and you can get all the nutritional information there. Plus, we give you tips and tricks inside the post that you're not going to see here. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope I inspired you to make something simple but super easy for dinner tonight, and I hope you'll join me next time on another Eating on a Dime show. Bye, friends.